Hey there, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking at hitting with depth this week at DTL, and today specifically, we're going to look at hitting with depth on your ground strokes. All right, I think a lot of you out there think generally that if you hit a ball past the service line on your opponent's side of the court, that is sufficient depth. In my book, once you're cracking into that 4-0, 4-5 or higher range, a ball with your ground strokes that gets past the service line is not quite good enough to be able to really do damage to your opponent. I think a lot of players out there like hitting against pace. They like hitting against some spin. What I don't know of any player loving to play against is hitting against depth. So my first thought is always that if I can get the ball in the back third of the tennis court, and you can see out there I've set up a line of cones, you know, the back third being anywhere from the baseline to about no man's land in the court. This section back here is really a ball that creates problems for even really high level players because it starts to push people back. So how do we get this good solid depth into the back third of the court with our ground strokes? I want to look at it on the forehand side right now. The first would be height. Height is the number one component to creating good depth. Take a look at this swing. All right, it's just a standard forehand swing, pretty low to pretty high. You know, it's not a lob, but when I create height, you know, essentially I'm aiming to a spot that's basically double the height of the net out there, somewhere at about the top of Mark's head. If I can put the ball at that height, it's going to travel deep in the court. Where if I level the ball out at the same speed and hit maybe just a few feet over the net, you know, you can see how shallow that lands. So height to me is the number one component, and that is starting to go lower to higher up through the tennis ball. That's what creates height. Now, I think you would all agree that that depth without anything else on it is not going to be a good enough ball to do damage. So the second part of this would be racket speed. So I'm going to create the same amount of height. I'm going to start to speed up the swing. And now that ball starts to penetrate out through the court. What's my result though? I actually fly past the back third of the court and I start flirting with landing it a couple feet out past the baseline. So we want racket speed because it's going to create a bigger ball. But now the third part of this is topspin. We have to have topspin so that when we add racket speed, the ball has the ability to come down. So I'm thinking create height, add racket speed, and make sure to have some topspin so that I can keep the ball in the court. Yeah, I love that one right there. And you guys can see it. This is not a lob. Oh, that's a little deep. So I just add spin to that. I loved my height. I liked my racket speed. I'm going to add a little spin. And I'm back in the court, okay? So there's a ball that's really, I've created great depth, and because I've added that speed and that spin, not only is it going to push somebody back, but then the ball jumps up and really can create a good problem. Let's have a look on the backhand too. I think you'll agree that's the same recipe needed, is height, racket speed, and spin. It's no different on this side. Yeah, so that ball works all day right there. So target the back third of the court, kind of get rid of that notion that just past the service line is sufficient, and go through those progressions. Start with a slow swing. Really get the feel of that low to high to create a ball that's double the height of the net. Start adding speed to that. If you're going long, no big deal. Get the feeling of adding speed to that low to high swing though, and then incorporate that topspin, and I think you're going to find you're hitting a ball that creates the biggest problem for even high level tennis players, which is depth, okay? So I hope that was super helpful. That's all I got for you today. Please click like below this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. as well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses that Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those really helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well, and we'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lesson.